the YouTube.
Yes. Okay. So apologies everyone. We had a technical glitch. So I welcome you everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the location. So based on that, so hello and welcome. So today we have an event on Power BI where we are going to tell you how you can get help, or when you help, what are the advantage of that. And I have an expert panel for that to take you through this journeys today's discussion. I have with me Ashish Mathur. Ashish is the first Excel MVP from India. He is an Excel enthusiast and he is there on Power BI community since its beginning. He is a Microsoft Power BI Community super user. He has his own website for which I have given you link in the description so you can go and take his advantage. Ashish, welcome to the show, and I would like you to give a brief introduction about you. I know users know you, but just want to know more about you.
Sure, that's very kind of you, Amit. Thank you so much for that brief intro. So, I'm Ashish Mathur. I have a venture of my own named Excel Enthusiasts, whereby I conduct Microsoft Excel and business intelligence sessions in organizations. I have been a Microsoft Excel MVP for about 13 odd years, from 2001 till 2014. So, it was an absolute pleasure during that time to be associated so closely with the developer community. I also I'm keenly interested in Power BI, and I'm an active participant on the forums. I hope to have a very constructive 1 hour discussion with each one of you. And thanks once again, Amit, for roping me in for this.
Okay, I have Mohammed Adnan also with me. Adnan is a MVP on Power Data Platform. He is a MCT also. He is a speaker on global forums. He runs his own channel Talk 18, for which I have given link in the description, and his channel has 500 plus videos. So if you are not subscribed or not watched, I would advise you to do that. Welcome Adnan, welcome to this show. Just a brief introduction to our users to know more about you. They know you, but we would like to know more about you.
Okay, thank you, Amit, for having me here. It's nice to be here. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. And I'm a Microsoft MVP and MCT as well. So my main area is to help the community. I used to be active user in helping community of Microsoft Power BI as well as other social platform. So my main area focusing is on Power BI and Power Platform kind of thing. So if you want to look into my channel, you will get a detail about that. So looking forward to all the questions which you are going to ask today. We'll try to answer three of us. Thank you.
Okay, so what we are discussing today. So I know Power BI is one of the leading BI tool, and we are getting increasing number of customers on Power BI. Power BI is one of the hottest career in 2022. So you might be one who are learning Power BI. So you might be there on Power BI because your organization has purchased it and you are learning it, and you require some help in terms of what you are solving. You are finding it difficult, and then you need help. So when you need this help, where to go? We would like to know from our expert panel. I am a new user to the Power BI. I know a little bit of Power BI. I am looking for help. What is the best way to help? And to begin this discussion, I will ask Ashish this question. Ashish, I am a new user. I came to community. I'm here in Power BI. I came because my company has taken Power BI, or I am learning it for my career growth. How can I get help on Power BI?
Sure. Sure, Amit. So, one of the best ways to learn, I feel, is to teach someone. Right now, when you hit a roadblock, you're trying to actually learn something new. Something that all of us do without fail is to hit the Google search bar and type in a question over there. Very honestly, that's how I started my journey. Right, I did read initial books, right, books initially, which were very, very informative, but they got me only till a certain level. They gave me fantastic theoretical knowledge. Thereafter, I had to increase my speed of execution as well as my knowledge. For that, I fell back on the forums. So my advice to each one of you who's actually seeking help is to actually just hit the Google search bar, type in your question. You invariably will be directed to the Power BI desktop forums. Go there, become a member, post your question, and that's the best way to get started.
Okay, Adnan, what according to you best way to get help on the Power BI, and how did you started that journey, and how did you get help on Power BI, or how are you helping Power BI?
Okay. So first of all, like Ashish said, so So you need to start googling it, and then you will get lots of result out of it, and hopefully someone has already has similar kind of problems for you, and you can get the solution out of it. Not exactly the same solution, but there may be some concept for that. You can apply the same logic, so that you can get the answers to that. But if at all, if you don't see your answers, what you're actually expecting into any Google search or even in Microsoft Power BI community, then you can post your questions, but the questions must be in a proper stage manner. Like it has to be very business perspective. So what exactly your requirement is, what you have done so far, and what you are not able to achieve. So you need to give all this kind of information with clear cut information so that the experts can answer those questions very easily. And it will be good if you just can share the PPX or at least the screenshot of it, what exactly you need. So
Okay,
this is how you can able to achieve your result.
that's great. So Ashish, are there some ways, like there are certain blogs or books which when you started, you started doing on that? What are your suggestions on watching certain YouTube videos or reading certain books? How should user go about it when they are the initial users?
Correct. So, when I started my journey about on learning Power BI in 2013, about 9 years ago, very honestly, as of now, I don't remember which books did I read, but there were very, very few book authors at that time. I remember, there being Italian stallions, right? I'm forgetting the name right now. They were the ones who would author books on power pivots actually, right? I apologize, I forget their name for now, but they were very well known personalities in the Power BI Power Pivot space and back in then. So I started reading those books, and very honestly, initially when I read them, they were quite technical, right? For me, who's a business person, I didn't quite understand what was happening out there, but I persevered. I said, okay, I haven't got it around the first time, I'll try a little more, and I did. So once I had read a good number of books, I got that theoretical knowledge, but what still was lacking was how good am I at solving problems, and that's how I thought I would actually become good by solving others' problems. So that's when I fell back on forums. I started watching very few videos that we had back then, and even the ones that were there, they were very technical in nature. Thankfully, now that 9 years have passed, a lot of videos have become very customer centric, business centric, easy to understand. So now, you just need to do a Google search on Power BI desktop videos. You'll be inundated with information and blogs that you can subscribe to, right? So that's how I started off my journey. There are just lots and lots of books and videos out there, honestly. And, considering all this is practically free information that's out there, there's really no excuse for a person to say that now I cannot learn it. It's there for each one of us. So that's how I started my journey.
Okay, so before I go to Adnan, there is a question which Adnan can also answer. As a new year as a student, at what capacity you joined or user participation and contribute to the Power BI community? So, as a student, how can you join first of all, and at what capacity you can contribute, and about books and videos? Definitely, we would like to know from Adnan.
Okay, as a student, hopefully, if you are a college student, then definitely they may have given you an ID. You can subscribe, sign up for the Power BI community to join the community for that. And then, whatever knowledge you have and read the existing solutions, what others has provided, you can apply the same logic in practice it by yourself. If you are getting familiar with those questions and answers, and if you are confident enough to answer the questions which other users have asked in the community, then you start doing it. So that's how you can able to grow in that.
Okay, so let me summarize what expert has said, and I just wanted to confirm you that Vijay wanted to join us, but because of medical emergency, he is not able to make it up to this meeting, so he will not be joining. We will have him some other time on this forum. Hopefully, Vijay, everything is fine at Vijay's end. So now, as a student or as an employee of any organization, you need to have an ID, which is a non-personal ID. Gmail or Yahoo ID will not work. You need to create your login on community.powerbi.com. Community.powerbi.com, I have given link in the description, is the official community where you can ask the questions. So if you are a user who is looking for help on Power BI, that's the first forum you can go about that to get the help. Other than that, we have an official Reddit forum for Power BI. There are other forums where people are also asking questions, and we as an expert are available at various forums. I know people ask us questions on Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram and various other online forums where we are available. But we always encourage you that you come to community.powerbi.com, because there are a lot of experts available. There are 100 plus super users which Power BI has a community has awarded. They are right there to help you out, and you have experts. Some of those experts are here with us, Ashish and Adnan, and I am also there on the community to help you out. So my advice would be, with your official ID or college ID, create a login on the community and ask the question. Other than that, community has various blogs. In the blogs, I have given in the link in the description, so you can go to the blogs and look at the various information. So there are a lot of content available on community to take the advantage. So I would request you to first go ahead and create your login on the community if you are looking for help. So that's the first step to get the help on Power BI community. Now, so now you know how to get help. Now the next question comes in, what when I'm asking a question, what should I do so get answer quickly? Means you are on community, you'll ask question. There are hundreds of other users which are also asking questions. What should I do that I can get my answer quickly from the experts? So Ashish, again I come back to you, the most experienced super user with us. How can I get my answers quickly from community?
Sure. For community is to have a very clear cut description of your question, right? Which honestly does not mean just writing a text, message out there saying that this is what I want to do. These are the columns that I have. It's not going to help. No one's going to waste his or her time in building out a data set for you, right? The three principles that you should follow when posting a question is: number one, share a data set which one can paste into Excel, or share the download link of your PBI file. That's number one. Number two, give a clear business description of what you're trying to do, right? At the end of it, solving a problem is all about solving. There's one single question, the person's under single answer, problem solved, move on to the next one. It saves the time of both the person who's asking the question as well as the person who's answering. So these are three principles that I abide by when I myself go and post questions, and I would request each one of the users to once again adhere to these three principles.
Okay, Adnan, I can see your video has stopped. So are you with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm here.
Adnan, so yeah. So Adnan, the same question to you. What are, according to you, the best way to get answers from the community?
Okay, so as Ashish has already covered most of the points, and it was beautifully explained by Ashish. And on top of that, I just want to add one more thing: is some of the questions which I have seen in the forum is like they used to ask multiple questions in one single question itself. So that's not going to help the answer. Those who are going to give the answers, because it's really difficult to answer all the questions in one answer itself. So if you have a multiple questions on a single project itself, please make it a separate questions for that. Only if your question is not already available on the forum, because whenever you post a questions, or the community itself will give the suggestions of the answers with similar kind of questions already asked by many other peoples. You try to find out your solutions on that answerable solutions. If it is there, then you can pick up directly from there. If it is not, then try to put it out single questions in a single question itself. Requirement. But with a clear cut information, the three principles with Ashish had said, you need to follow that step.
Okay, yeah. So that's great to know. So you heard from the expert that follow those three principles which Ashish said. Try to break down the problem into the smaller one. See, the other use. So you are sitting with your end user. You can access the problem statement, what they wanted, what kind of database they have. You have access to data. Now the people who are helping and the community doesn't have that access, and so you need to provide a crisp information about what the problem is. If you can provide sample data, nothing like that, because that helps us to solve a problem. If you can provide PBIX, nothing like that. So always have some kind of a sample data available for your project which you can share and ask specific problems. Now don't ask a problem like I typically don't prefer if somebody gives me sub 10 set of table and say, what can I do and all those. Try to break down those problems into very specific problem, that this is the problem I'm facing and how can I do that. So instead of asking that, you can say, okay, I've joined these two tables and this is the kind of join and I'm not getting this particular value which I'm expecting. those kind of problems can get quickly answered. uh, you should provide the description, but you should keep it really crispy, and so that it is only relevant to that topic, and end user can understand, or the person who's trying to answer can understand it easily. Try to break down the problem into smaller pieces and then ask those smaller pieces. That will help you to get the answer of your question pretty quickly. Now, my question now is, let's say I posted a problem and I followed these steps also. What should be my next step, or what should happen if I did not get answer to my problem? So I posted a problem, I did not get answer. So Adnan, I come to you asking this question: what should I do as an end user? I posted something on forum, I did not get an answer.
Okay, so for this, there may be two reasons. One is, like we discussed earlier, the question what you ask is too big. It's not broken down into different parts. So it is hard for the expert to give you the answers in one single answer for that. And the next thing can be possibilities are the requirement what you have mentioned in that your question is not clear cut. So you need to provide those three principles which Ashish has said. You need to follow that step. Then only the expert can able to answer your questions.
Okay, Ashish, what should
Yeah.
I do when I did not get answer for the problem?
Sure. So, in all likelihood, if you've explained your question very, very well, substantiated that with data, and given a business description, you definitely should get an answer. In the stray case that you do not get an answer after a few days, let's say, it's a good idea to revisit your own question. Have you not worded it well? Have you not provided enough description? Right? Is your expected result not showing up clearly? Review these. Post another question, start another thread. The fact is, please realize that there are so many questions being posted day on day, every hour, that very honestly, the person who's trying to help you out will not be impacted at all if he skips a question and moves on to the other one. So the loss is that of the person who's actually put in a lot of effort in posting a question in the first place. Right? Please be very descriptive, review your question, see it from an end third party perspective, right? Am I clear enough? This person who's trying to help me is not from my domain, not from my organization. He is not expected to know what I have in mind, right? So please be very descriptive. I guarantee you will get an answer, right? If not by one, you'll get it from someone else. So all I can say is just be very, very clear, revisit your question, rephrase it if you have to.
Okay, so you heard it. Let me add a few more pointers to it. So once you post a problem to the community, the users, the super users, the users who are on the community, they look into that one and try to see if they can answer that question. Now, typically when the information is provided in a pretty good manner, there are high chances that you should be able to get answers pretty quickly. It is not that the only super users or the users of the community is going to answer. Post that Microsoft support community support team is there. They are also going to try to look into your questions and try to answer that question. Now, so that happens actually after some time. It doesn't happen immediately. It may happen after 12 hours or 24 hours of posting your problem, that the community support team is going to look into it. So the community support team is also going to try to answer that question. But if you are not getting answer for, let's say, a couple of days or 2-3 days, it's good that you revisit your question, you rephrase it, and you provide some more things, so that the problems can solve. Other thing which you can do is you can mark certain super user at the rate in your description, who has helped you in the past, or who are, you can see on the right hand side there are a list of super users who are at the top. If you click on the more, then you will get all the list of the super users which are available, who are frequently answering, or those who are frequently answering these days, pretty active in these days. You can mark them at the rate in your problem and ask them help. That will help you out. So in this manner, what you can help do is, even if your problem get unanswered for a couple of days, you request the users to answer, you wait for support to answer. So definitely we think that your problem will get answered on the community if you are there, if you have asked question properly. So now with this, I would like to ask this question to the expert panel. How is there something like some way I should, let's say people have answered my question, or how should, as a poster, the topic poster, what should be your recommendation for somebody who's posting the things on community, getting responses? How should he motivate the people people who are answering question for them. So I will go back to Ashish. Ashish, I'm getting answers on community. What should my what you call the behavior on the community, or what should be the best practice for me on a community as a person who's asking questions?
Sure. So, see, please realize that the person who's trying to ask your question has no inherent interest in, spending a lot of time in answering one single question. As I said, there are so many questions coming through that if you miss one and go to the other one, no one's going to be impacted by it. So, whosoever is spending time on answering a question, even if it's not the answer to your, even if it's not the complete solution to your problem, please recognize the fact that he is investing his time. He or she is investing a time. Thank the person, right? Tell him how well it's worked or it's not worked. Even if you don't have the time to go back and give a kudo or something, at least tell the person whether it's worked or not. Otherwise that thread gets lost. And please also realize it's not about only appreciating the other person, but the moment you mark something as an answer, it moves up the rank when you try to search for a question, when somebody else try to search for a question on that forum. So when I come in 6 months later and I have a similar question, when I post that, type that in the search bar, the likelihood of that particular response that you got 6 months ago, which was marked as an answer, it's a lot likely to come up in the search results. So please, number one, give your feedback of what worked, what did not work. If it's a good job, please mention so. It's just an energy, it's just a booster for the other person who's helped you, and it's just honestly very good. I mean, it's just good mannerisms as well, to just go and thank the person who's helped you. If it's not worked, please be frank in saying, so sorry, it's not worked. I tried it. Is there something else we can do to solve this problem? Yeah.
Okay, Adnan, your comment on the same. What should, as an end user, I do when I keep on getting answers? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah. So if it is work, if I ask it some questions and if someone has given me the answer which properly worked, then it's definitely for my responsibility. I can say that we need to give the kudos and reply to them that this solution is working perfectly fine. The reason for this is whenever other persons visit Power BI community and search for any kind of questions for that, if they come across to these particular questions, then they will find that this is a helpful answer and this is a proper solution for that. So it happens a lot of times that even for my request also, if I look for some questions in Power BI community, which it has already answered, then I used to give the kudos for that because it helped my job as well, right? Because someone has given the answer to someone's question, but ultimately it helps for my project. So I need to give him the appreciation to the end users. If someone which is keep on doing a lot of effort for the community, even on the other social platforms as well. So if they are working on that, it is good to mention, appreciate them in other social platforms as well. That's what I can say. Appreciation is a must.
Yes. Okay. That's really kind words from Adnan and Ashish. So let me add a little bit more things to us. What happens when we answer a question? See, all of us who are answering questions are also working professionals like you. We have also our similar kind of jobs what you are doing. We are also doing the similar kind of jobs. We get the time out community and spend some time. So somebody is answering, he's trying to wear your shoes with the explanation which you have given on the community and try to solve that problem. Now he may or may not understand the problem as well as what you are able to understand. So he's trying to give his best shot by the description what you have given. Now he's investing his time to help you out, and there is no intention here just to give more answers or something. The intention here that the person coming here should get his answers. So sometime what happens, we give links, we give blog links, we give video link to the nearest possible problem. Sometime along with that we give, okay, part of the problem has been done here, part of the problem has been done there, you can combine and do it, because sometimes the problem would be really long to solve, we might not have that much of time to solve it. So we suggest you follow these steps. Now why we are doing this? We are not there to spoon feed you. We would like you to develop as a Power BI professional and help others also. So whenever there is an answer available, direct answer available, we'll try to give you. Otherwise, we will try to make sure that you also learn the same things by applying certain logics, watching some videos, watching some blogs, so that you can also learn those techniques and able to solve similar kind of problem. Because this is not the first problem you are facing, and nor it is going to be the last problem you are facing. So anybody answering you with links, anybody answering you with the videos or partly answering the problem. When you do this, is basically trying to make sure that you get the required help and you are able to solve the problem. And appreciation is, I think you should always appreciate people's time that which they have spent, given to you, for solving the problem. So if you see somebody has replied correctly, you should mark that as an answer. You should give kudos. There are certain times there are multiple answer could be correct, and sometimes what happens, either we mark the first answer or the last answer we see. No, go ahead and look at all the answers. If you think there are more than one answers which are correct, there could be multiple ways to solve the same problem. Power BI as a tool uses DAX, and in DAX and Power Query both, not only in DAX, Power Query also, there are multiple ways to solve the same problem, and the end users might ever give you multiple choices which you have done. So look at all those solutions that might give you good learning to do the same things in a different manner. Mark all of them answer, give them kudos. If you come across a question like you wanted to search some question and you just got the answer because somebody else has answered, you can give them kudos. When you go to community blogs, you can give them kudos. There are medium blogs, there are blogs on other medium. Whenever you read something which helps you appreciate, because what happens is appreciation, like whenever I go and I found some video which is really good, I go and give the kudos. Same I do with the problem. The reason behind that, we want to appreciate those people who are investing their time to solve our problem, to teach us, and we want to motivate them to do more. So if you motivate the people who are trying to help you out, trying to do that effort to help the community, there will be more and more such users who's going to help us. So the only thing we can give them as a the topic initiator or the questionnaire, the person who's asking question, that the only thing we can give them, we can appreciate their effort, appreciate their time. They may be right sometime in answering the question, they may approach it wrongly. It's just because not everybody is wearing your shoes and your customer shoes what you're asking for, but still in spite of that, they are trying their best effort to solve that problem. So please appreciate whenever you see somebody is trying to solve your problem, and give them more information if you did not get the proper answer, and ask them. Otherwise, if you're still not getting, mark few more users at the rate and try to get their help. So this is the way I think you should be able to get good help on community, encourage the culture of appreciation. That is in your hand, the one who is asking the question. So these are my suggestions. So now with this, let me see if there are some new questions. I have seen how the knowledge and the depth should a Power BI analyst get into studying the programming and the data science, especially database related. So this is the question. So let me break this question. Do you think really a very good knowledge of database is required, or Excel knowledge is good enough? What according to you can work for a Power BI developer? What background can work, or what things can help? What additional knowledge can help? So I go to Adnan first for this question. Adnan, what according to you can work for a Power BI developer?
You're on mute, Adnan.
Yeah, thank you. So as far as my experience, I can say, if you are planning to start your career in Power BI, you don't need to have any kind of background experience. If you have, that's good advantage. The SQL knowledge and Excel knowledge, it is good to have, but it is not a kind of 100% mandatory for that. Even if you are a fresh college pass out, then also you can start learning Power BI. It has a lots of learnings from Microsoft as well, and there are also blogs available, videos also available in the internet. You can start working on Power BI. The main thing is you need to get experience, used to it. You need to practice a lot to do that. Because I have worked on many companies where they are using SAP, for example, as a backend for that. If you have a backend as an SAP, and they will also have a separate team as a data engineer team, so that they can give you the view itself. You just need to add that view into your Power BI report and start building the report. So to become a data analyst, it is good to have excellent SQL knowledge, but it's not a mandatory one. I can say you can start just basic from the college fresh out itself.
Okay, now I go to an Ashish, and Ashish have an interesting journey. Ashish is a financial analyst to start with. So I think Ashish should share a little bit about his journey and his experience while answering this question, that, what can help you in Power BI as a developer or as an analyst?
Sure. So I think Mohammed Adnan, summed it up really well. But I'll just give you, my two bits of information here. So I'm a non-technical person. I'm a finance person. Actually, that's what I've studied up until my post-graduation. I have absolutely no programming background, none whatsoever. Not in school, not in college, not in my post-graduation. I initially started off with my passion for Excel, and you know what? Back in the day, I'm sure most of you may not even know this. In the year 2009, that was the era when Excel 2010 was running on most systems. Microsoft had introduced an add-in in Excel called Power Pivot. That time, Power Query or the query editor did not exist in Excel at all. It was nowhere to be seen at all. So when I saw that one can analyze huge chunks of data in Excel using the Power Pivot, that's what got me enthused. And I started learn. I heard of the Power Pivot for the very first time in the year 2009. That's when I started off. I said, okay, the learning curve is steep. There's something called the DAX language that we had to learn, which I had no idea about. Okay, but what gave me the confidence to move on was that I read somewhere that the DAX language is not a programming language, it's a formula language. And that's what got me interested. And thankfully, Microsoft, I believe, has done a fantastic job at just maintaining that as a formula language for end business users like myself, who are non-programmers, to be able to learn this tool. So I started learning the Power Pivot, then came Power BI Desktop. I realized language remained the same, right? I had to just about invest time in learning the query editor or the M language, which I still continue doing. And, that's what got me in good stead. So very honestly, to answer Amit's question is not, you don't have to have a programming background or a developer background to be able to do this. I'm a live example here in front of you. I have studied no programming language ever in my academic career, right? Neither was I ever interested, to be honest. But, I was very interested in solving Excel based problems. So that's what got me interested in this.
Okay, that's really interesting that Dax is someone for coming from a functional background able to easily migrate, and Ashish is an example in front of you. He's one of the longest running super user. He's helping in communities continuously, and he's from that kind of background. That should give you a lot of confidence that you can work on Power BI, and it's not difficult. And I'll tell you, I am from a SQL background, and I found it really interesting when I migrated to DAX, and it took me some time, to understand nuances of the DAX, but it really, really, surprises me with the capabilities it has to solve the complex problem by just doing certain stuff. And sometime when I used to write down the formula, and now I write down the formula, I just write down it in few steps. And this is because of the practice which I'm doing, which I'm trying to solve the problem more and more on the community, which gives me that. So the background is not needed, but definitely if you want to develop yourself as a database or a data engineer, if you have aim of a data engineering role, which may include a business intelligence tool, then definitely SQL, knowledge of Excel, and I think Azure or AWS, how the things work, especially related to data migration. Like in Azure, we have Data Factory, we have uh, Data Lake,
Yes.
and we have various other tools. So that knowledge would help you out if you want to become a data engineer. But if you want to be a Power BI analyst or Power BI developer or a Power BI architect, I think you can start with a very basic knowledge. But I think the most important thing which one should have is he should have the sense towards the data. If you are the one person, if I give you data on an Excel sheet or on a CSV and you can make sense out of that, then you are ready for Power BI. And that's what my observation, all the good developers which I've seen over last 15-20 years, or all the people who are done good on the BI tools are the one who are quickly able to make sense out of data. And you in the forum we have today Ashish, because Ashish was a financial analyst. He was doing that job pretty well, and that's where he is able to migrate so quickly into Power BI, because he understands the data. And because he understands the data, he's able to solve those problems in any of the tool. It's not by Power BI, he might have used some different tool, he would be able to do that same efficiently. So have that sense towards data, have that how data is going to make sense for the end user. If you start thinking about it, you will find new ways to learn Power BI or DAX or Power Query or any other BI tool for this, for the sake that you will be able to grow in your career. Now with that, I'll ask experts, do you have any question before I take the next question? We want to ask Adnan, want to ask Ashish, or to me, or same is Ashish if they want to ask back.
Sure. So I hope each one of us actually knows that Amit is, he's at the very top in these forums, and he's been there so consistently. Okay, so Amit, I guess it makes a lot of sense for you to let us know as to, how did you actually, make it to the top, and you've been there consistent. It's not as though you made it there just in 1 month or 2 months. You've been there at the very top for a very long time. So it makes a lot of sense for, us to learn from you, for me to learn from you as to, what gives you the inspiration to, despite having a regular job that you do, you still take time out and, help so many people, and, your effort is being recognized by so many people.
Okay, yeah, it's a nice question. Thanks for asking that, Ashish. So, Ashish, I came to forum sometime around 3 4 years back when I had wanted to ask the question, and when I started looking at that, I started realizing that I can answer those questions also, and the journey of a super user was more driven by my son's wish, because he used to like you guys seeing on the top five, you are there, Greg were there, and Perry is there, so he wanted to see me with that sign, so that encouraged me. But I start liking, somehow I have a lot of encouragement when I solve these DAX problem. And what used to happen when I used to solve those problem, when I came back into my project, I found I know all these answers, I can solve these problem. And always there is a one challenge with me is when I'm not doing something really difficult project, how do I learn, how do I know what kind of problems could come to me, and how do I solve that? And that is always, and because being in data for last 20 years, I also founded a company in between for a BI tool. I always find data as my interest, and that interest has continued when I solve the problem, because it gives me a satisfaction that, oh, I can solve this problem, oh, this is a different problem, okay, how to solve that? And that gives me confidence back home when I want to solve the problems, that yes, I might have solved that problem in some other way. And then when I start contributing, I realize that there are generalizations I can do. I started writing down blogs and creating videos. So it's the learning part which actually has encouraged me to stay there, and I still like solving the problems. It gives me a satisfaction. Yes, there are difficult and challenging problem, and day by day I think I sometimes I do better than what I was yesterday, and I'm making it solution much better than what I could have done 2 years back on that. So and whenever I teach someone, I told them, look at what I've done, the same thing 2 years back might be in a blog or video, and look at how I'm doing it today. So it's all came because of community. So I thanks to all of you who has are there since long, who keep on motivating us, and Ashish is there since long. I am seeing him super user. When I went to community, there used to be only 8 super users at that time, and he was one of them. So, and he was our encouragement actually to become super users, to see that tag in front of us. And so thanks community for teaching us, and that keep on encouraging us by uh, 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 at various forums. I know people ask questions on Instagram, YouTube, and all those, and they pass good comments. It feels good when you are able to solve problems, and people appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Okay. So now I have one more question, and any of the expert can answer. Like I have gone to forum, and based on that discussion, I came to know that this is an issue with the tool. So is there a way I can report I found an issue on the community on the Power BI tool? So what's the mechanism to log an issue or to tell Microsoft that there is an issue? Adnan, would you like to answer that?
Okay, so I will take. I'll try to answer that. So there are two things here. One is if you are using an organizational, I mean, if you're working for a company and you're doing something and you have found that there is an issue in the Power BI itself, then I think the issues.powerbi.com, there's a similar website where we can post our queries onto that. But still, if you have a Microsoft support with you, then you can definitely raise a support ticket to the Microsoft so that the support team will come to you and then they will try to solve the issues. If there is something issues already exist in Power BI, I think there is a website which is especially for Power BI. If there is a known issues are there, Microsoft itself has listed out those issues over there. I think I will put the descriptions of this video later on of this session. So if you have similar kind of issues, you can have a look into that website. There you can know about, oh, these are the problems which we are actually facing it in recent days. So recently, like we have issues in data flows at the moment in Microsoft Power BI service. So they are still working on to that issue. So similar kind of things can happen. And other thing is if you are using a personal thing and if you found this is an issue in that, then you can check with again with the Microsoft website itself if there's something which is they are working on. So, but one more point I want to add is like if there is a preview feature which you are trying to work it out, then definitely there are highly chances are there some bugs inside to that. So if you're trying it something out, then you can try the preview feature, but you can't able to complain inside to that what they have it on the preview features.
Yeah, that was good to know. So links of the issues and all those things you will find in the description, and more things Adnan is going to add in some time if you don't find those things. Now, I would just like to add here is that while you can report issues, you have known issues and you have support tickets. Uh, that So you can take advantage of that. And whenever there is a product release, every monthly there is a release. Whenever you have a feature release, especially preview feature which Adnan talked, sometime they have a feedback link on that. So if you go to that particular link when the feature was released, you might find a feedback link, so you can give feature feedback or preview feature feedback on those links. So keep an eye on the blog.powerbi.com. The link would be there in the description, so you can so whenever there is a monthly release, there are release notes. Other than monthly release, the feature release notes are also there. Just look at those feature release notes and check out if there is a support link given for the preview features, so that you can take advantage of providing feedback on those preview features. So in case you have some wish list and you have some issues which you have find out, please put them into the description, and we will look not only today, whenever you are watching this video in the future, if you put something into the comments or in the chat, we will look into that and we will try to see if they can be addressed, if they are issues or not, or we will reply you whether they are really issues or not. So you can post whenever you are watching this video, you can post those questions here. Now I come to the next question to the expert panel. I working on Power BI. Every tool is, and Power BI is a great tool giving releases every month, but there could still be some feature which I am looking forward, which is not there in Power BI. Is there a way we can recommend that Power BI should give these features to the end user?
Yeah. So I'd like to answer first for this. So for this also we have a website like ideas.powerbi.com. You can go and visit that website. There you can see a lot of other people have already posted ideas for Power BI, because Microsoft uses these kind of ideas to enhance the product, the Power BI itself. So if the feature what you're looking for is already posted by someone else, then you just need to give a vote for that, because the number of vote counts for the Power BI to prioritize the development features. But actually depends on the result of that. I mean, if the requirement, the idea what you have shared is really mandatory kind of thing, is really a highly valuable idea, then they will take it forward to develop the product. But if there is something which is not on a priority basis, then at least I think they need a kind of 5,000 votes for that in order to consider that this should be an idea to be added into Power BI feature.
That's a great information, Adnan. Thanks for that. So do you have any idea? Do you see any missing features? So check out, if you wanted to log that in ideas, you have to create a login again with the organizational account there, and you should be able to vote for the idea or suggest it. But if you are thinking there are certain ideas which are missing, or if you have given idea and you want us to vote, please put that into the comments or in the live chat. And if you want us to post some of the ideas which you have, validate those ideas and post an idea and get back to you. So please again post that on the comments, or you can individually post us on LinkedIn. I have given everybody's LinkedIn account, or on you can reach Ashish on his blogs, Adnan on his videos, and me also on my videos or LinkedIn account. So you can reach us and tell us these are the features which I'm thinking is missing. So we will let you know whether this feature is there or not, whether the workaround is there or not, or if that is not there, we will also help you in logging that idea. So please go ahead and do that, and we look forward for that whenever you're watching this video, either live or when in the recording. Please do that and get back to us what you want to see in Power BI, and we are waiting for that. So that is a great discussion. How do I get help on Power BI? Now I would like to come back to the expert panel which is helping here. What is the advantage I get by helping on Power BI? And this I go to Ashish, who's doing this for a long time. Ashish, what are the advantage of helping others on community? So please let us know why you are helping since long.
Sure. So first of all, it's a fantastic feel-good factor. Think about it. We're all humans. We're all social creatures, right? We all within ourselves have this innate ability, right? And it's something that's hidden on in us to be helpful towards others, right? So it honestly feels very good when I go and answer a question. Yeah, I may or may not get a kudo for that. I may or may not get a positive reply from that. But I know that there's someone in the world I've helped for absolutely no benefit that's coming my way. Right? I just have helped him out of my pure heart. And very honestly, that's reason number one. Reason number two is, as I said, I'm in the domain of doing a lot of project work on Power BI and Excel, and one of the ways in which I can increase my knowledge and my speed of execution is by participating on forums. I see myself as how I've transformed from using this tool back in the day in 2017 when I joined the forums up until now. What took me, let's say, 5 minutes earlier to solve now takes me only a minute or so. So the more I practice, the more my knowledge increases, the better, the lesser time I take to solve problems, and that's how I become more efficient at my own work. So very honestly, it's a win-win for everyone. The recipient of it benefits because he or she gets a solution. I feel very good about that, right? Even if I don't receive no response from that person. Second, my speed of execution increases, and so does my knowledge.
Adnan, what's your take on that?
So Ashish has nicely pointed out that. So like you said, is helping the community is just helping. Since the childhood, parents used to thought us that we need to help others, right? So this is a kind of help itself, even though this is a digital help, but this is a kind of help itself which you are doing it for other people. So doing help to others, it gives us satisfaction ultimately. That's one point. And other thing is like it improves our knowledge as well, and also the execution, like Ashish said. And not only that, if you are participating in this kind of communities, and also if you are sharing your experience or sharing your training kind of things in various Microsoft communities or user group sessions or any kind of conferences which you are speaking out. So that's also kind of helping the community. So if you keep on doing that activity, definitely the Microsoft people are going to watch you out for that, because you are posting by your name and your topic what you are going to speak over there, and they will award you for that. Most probably like super users you will get from Microsoft community, or also you will get Microsoft MVP award kind of thing. So you just need to help the community, and something will be get it back to you itself. So it's not like one way, it's a two-way win-win situation, like Ashish said.
Yeah, so your expertise on the community would be recognized as super user. Continue to do that, consistently do that. So if you keep on doing that consistently, one, it improves your knowledge, as Ashish and Adnan has appreciated on the fact. You will find it easy to solve problem back at your work, and you can be recognized as super user. So, and this was a question like, what is the path to become super user? So path to become super user is help on Power BI community and answer the questions, write down blogs, post your text formulas. There are various things are there where you can post themes, you can post DEX formulas, you can post the blogs. So there are various ways you can share your knowledge. So it's not only about solving problem, it's also about writing down how to solve a particular problem and sharing on the blogs. So do all those stuff. And there are, I think, if you notice, if you start helping, you will notice there is a bar which is coming in front of you. It will keep on increasing. And we have super user every 6 months, and Power BI community managers will reach out to you once you are there. Once you have done enough help on the community to become super users. There are 100 plus super users, and every 6 months we are adding more super users who are helping on the community. So my advice would be consistently help on community in various ways, by writing down blogs, by posting themes, by posting beautiful Power BI visualization into the data gallery, and answering questions, and the community managers will reach out to you. Now, when you grow your contribution beyond community, you do it on different forum, you speak at different forum, that's where Microsoft is going to watch you and may consider you for the MVP, and that's the biggest award you can have there as a helper. So we would like to encourage you to continuously learn Power BI, help others, and you will also reach there with the consistency of supporting others in the in community. So keep on doing that, and I really appreciate all your efforts and all the super users who are doing it, all the Microsoft MVPs who are doing it to teach us Power BI in a better manner, to make our life Power BI life pretty easy here, by providing us that knowledge. And I think there was one more question about certification. Adnan, what kind of certification one person can have on Power BI?
So Microsoft Data Analyst is a certification which is PL300. They can get it. They need to write an exam for that, and if they pass it out, they will give you the certification as a Microsoft Certified Data Analyst. Previously, it was like DA100. Now they have changed it to PL300, and that's the name of their certificate. Is Microsoft Certified Data Analyst.
And I think because Vijay has not joined, I have to ask one more question, because you are a Microsoft certified trainer also. So please let us know, what is this Microsoft certified trainer and how does it help?
Okay, so Microsoft Certified Trainer is actually a kind of recognition which Microsoft itself gives us, and we can get that. And with the help of that, we are certified that can train other peoples. Even though we are helping the community, we are speaking on the conferences, and even many other people are still training other peoples, but without the certifications, right? So if certification means it's the kind of authorities which they have given to us because we are an expert in that field. So company, the corporate can rely us, and we can teach to other peoples. So I have seen while teaching to the other peoples, what I have figured out, there are peoples which they have initially started with Power BI, but there are some of the college freshers, they nothing know about anything about Power BI. We just need to begin from the basics of data analyst, what actually it is, right? So we just need to ground up to that level, and then we need to bring them into the top level for that. That's a kind of satisfaction when someone with no knowledge on Power BI and grow up with something as a data analyst. It really feels good being a Microsoft certified trainer, because it helps me to do that job. Even though that's a transition done by himself, but it's a kind of help which I can provide to them so that they can grow up in their career. Right. So that's an advantage for that.
Okay, that's a great input, and I think I would come to the last question, and I'll start that question with Ashish. I'm one who's answering the questions on community. Now I learned a little bit of Power BI and I'm answering. What are your recommendations, or what is the best practices I should follow while answering the questions now?
Sure, sure. So, while there's a lot of effort that the person who's posted the question puts into actually writing that, it's equally our responsibility, the person who's answering the question, to be as clear cut with our solutions, right? So I'll tell you the practice that I follow. So whenever someone posts a question and it's clear cut absolutely to me, I have to put in twice the effort. I must put in twice the effort to make my solution also clear cut to the other person. So what I do for this is, number one, I post my PBIX file. I post a link from where they can download that file. And second, I always share a screenshot of the solution that is there on the Power BI desktop file. A lot of us in this mobile world see a lot of, our first interaction at, in the morning is with the phone, not with the computer, right? So now the moment you see that someone has answered my question with a screenshot that shows me what I was expecting, it makes it all the more, it sort of prompts the person to actually log in and say, okay, now he's shown me exactly what I wanted. Let me now download the Power BI desktop file to see, whether or not it does indeed answer my question. Can I apply it to my own work situation or not? So the two principles I follow is, number one, share a PBI download or attach it if you can. Attachment is not allowed, I believe, for all users. So please share a PBI add-in, PBI link to download that file. Second, please always share a screenshot. That's what's worked very well for me.
Okay, so Adnan, what's your take on that? What's the best practices one should follow while answering these things on community?
Okay, if first of all, what I prefer is, as the community has already grown up a lot, there are lots of answers questions already over there. If you find some questions and you feel that this question answer is already available in some of the other questions, then you can just find out that question and then post that link onto this here as an answered question for that. Because this can not only help to the users that it is already answered by someone else, but it's also help the person who has already answered it. They can get in kudos for that. So we should not have to just copy and paste whatever the solution is already exists over there from here. It is better to do the link of that earlier post. And rest everything what Ashish said is clearly perfect. So that's we need to follow.
Okay, so I would like to add few more things here. What with Ashish and already Adnan has pointed out. So as a person who's answering the problem, please make sure that uh, you follow the instruction which Ashish has given. Try to solve it, with your best of your effort and best of your knowledge. But while you're answering, you sometime might find the other person is answering in parallel. Like this happens with me a lot. When I answer in the morning, I know Ashish is going to work on the same problem, and he's the one who work on the details, will find. And initial days, I was waiting for him to answer to look, how to solve that problem. And I remember I used to subscribe to the now these days the subscription is automatic. Previously we need to subscribe to a problem if you want to get the answer if we are not replying to that. So I used to subscribe and I used to see those answers. We used to download those files which Ashish has solved, and look at how to do that, and that's how we learned it. But if you find someone else is like when you type the at the rate, you find someone else is already answered, refresh your page and check it out. And if they have answered correctly, don't try to answer the same thing. If unless you have value to add, you can always add values by mentioning that this person has already answered the thing, but I think this can add further value, or this is this may might not solve your problem. This is how the problem need to be solved. But if somebody already answered that problem, please give that person kudo and move on to the other problem. There are lot many problems are there. Just don't try to duplicate the answers. Now when you are giving the when you know the answer is already available on some blogs or links, provide those blogs and links, and the people can take advantage of that. So try to be more innovative. Try to try not to answer the same questions which has been answered already by previous people and they're already correct. Just don't try to reply to that. Thanks to the people, even when you are trying to add some value. If let's say sometime what happens when I go to the forum, I just refresh it, I found somebody else there and I refresh, I found that the other person is just said, please can you provide me additional information or can you provide the sample data. But because of my experience, I know this could be the solution of the problem. So then we mark the at the rate person by thanking him that we also think that additional information is required, but this could be probable solution which could work out. So in that manner, always help to each other in growing, because here as a community we want to help each other. We want to help each other to grow more in Power BI, to get more knowledge. So always be appreciative of what other people are doing. Always appreciate what the work is they are doing. They're also doing equal hard work as yours. They're also trying to help others and learn. So be supportive of each other on the community. So that's the way, as a user who is answering the question, you should be there. So I think with that, I'm done with today's question, and I would like to thanks Ashish and Adnan for taking out time and to have this knowledge sharing session with us. And we will hope that we will have more such sessions with these experts and keep on getting their knowledge on various forums and events which are happening throughout the world. So last word, last thing, anybody you want to add, Ashish or Adnan?
Sure. So, to each one of you people who are participating in this, I guess this session would be incomplete without giving enough kudo and appreciation to Amit. He's the person who's organized everything right from thought to finish. Right, none of us was involved in it at all. He just gave us invitations. We clicked on that link, and there we are. Right, but Amit has put in a lot of effort in this, right, from conceptualizing the questions till having all the technology up in place. So, I would really, really appreciate Amit's work on this, and thank you so much, Amit. We should be thanking you, not the other way around. You've been so instrumental in putting all of this up, and thanks once again.
Yeah, it's the same thing from here as well. So thanks a lot, Amit, for organizing this, because I know organizing an event is not an easy job. It needs a lot of effort. It's the kind of many days of communication need to happen with other peoples to participate in this one. So it's a lot of effort to do that, and it's a great concept to start this journey. Actually, I really appreciate your effort and whatever you have done so far.
That's really kind of both of you. I really appreciate taking out time on a Saturday, and we had met before today also with these experts to make sure this event goes past. So spending a lot of time with for the community on a Saturday, where taking out time from your families. I really appreciate you doing that. And I would also like to appreciate your knowledge sharing on community, on blogs, on your YouTube channel. And in spite of doing, your all full-time job, you take out a lot of time. And not only this, I would like to thanks all the super user and MVPs of Microsoft who are helping on the community for making our life on Power BI really comfortable. Really kudos to all of you who are helping us out, making our journey really comfortable on Power BI. So thank you all. And with this, I would like to wrap up this particular session. Thank you, Adnan and Ashish, for joining this wonderful session. Thank you, everybody who's watching it. And bye for now. Thanks you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Take care.
Ashish.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, Mohammed Adnan and Amit. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you.